Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with a Fallout 76 news update. Todd Howard recently talked about the possibility of crossplay for Fallout 76. The following information comes from GameInformer.com, which I will have linked in the description down below if you would like to check it out. In a video interview with German website GameStar.de, Bethesda Game Studios director and executive producer Todd Howard is directly asked about crossplay for this year's Fallout game, Fallout 76. "We would love to do that," Howard said, "but right now that's not possible." Howard pauses for a second, then begins, "Sony isn't being as helpful as we want them to be. It's not clear if there will be crossplay between either console and the PC for that matter, but as of right now, it is definitely not happening between the two console versions themselves." I can't say I am too surprised. The crossplay thing has been egg on Sony's face for about the past year. They have constantly rejected it. We can look at recently with Minecraft how Microsoft and Nintendo are having a field day taking jabs at Sony about how we're playing together and then no one else on PlayStation is. More recently though is actually the Fortnite issue where people are trying to download Fortnite on the Switch, sign in with their Epic accounts that they had created on PlayStation 4, but apparently it's linked to the PS4, and even if you unlink it on the Epic website, you still can't sign into your PS4 account on any other console, which has frustrated a lot of gamers. Apparently that issue goes a little bit deeper, but once again, it's the hesitation of crossplay. And then lastly is Rocket League, which Psyonix has openly come out and said, hey, we could actually do this with a flip of a switch if Sony would allow us to. So as I said, this has been the egg on Sony's face for about the past year, and what's really sad about this is that Sony is the #1 company right now, and they are acting like it. If they continue to compete, continue to try to innovate instead of getting complacent, comfortable, feeling powerful, feeling like they can determine the market, they are soon going to find themselves in the spot that maybe Microsoft was in. And I know that we have a lot of exciting exclusives coming out for Sony that I am personally ecstatic for between Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man PS4, do not get me wrong. But I foresee down the line, if Sony keeps working like this, the anti-consumer methods we see across the battlefield, Microsoft really setting up pro-consumer services because that's all they can offer right now. They can't really offer those exclusives. Developing for the Xbox One has been difficult. If we look at previous console generations, we can compare it to the PS3 and how developing for that system was always difficult for developers, so they tended to side more with the Xbox 360. So now we have Microsoft offering things like Game Pass, backwards compatibility, cross-play, and what have you. I think that this is stuff that come the next console generation when Microsoft's going up against Sony again, they have all these brand new studios, there's going to be a huge focus on exclusive, plus all of these pro-consumer decisions. I think it'll lead for a much more compelling console to initially invest in early on, especially when we think of potentially backwards compatibility being something there at launch for Microsoft's new console. Think of how many games will be available on launch for this system compared to any other system before that ever. I don't want to get off track though, the focus is crossplay, but I do feel that Sony is treading on dangerous grounds despite their amazing success with exclusives. I think that these are precedents being set that can burn them later on in the battle, because Microsoft has said, yeah, we're taking the more long-term approach for it, and their actions definitely suggest that. Whereas Sony is thinking in the now, trying to lock people down into their console, but I think it's working against them. I mean, I've seen so many people say, I'm just switching Fortnite entirely over to the Nintendo Switch because I don't feel like trying to hassle with Sony. So people are speaking with their playtime or wallets. As for the idea of Fallout 76 having crossplay, this is something I'd actually never considered, but I think that this would be a cool idea just for the sake of someone who has a PS4 and someone who has an Xbox One. Two best friends can get together and still play. It's not like someone will have to make a sacrifice. Let's say I own both the PS4 and Xbox One. My friend owns the Xbox One. I want to play on my PS4, maybe because I love trophy hunting. That's why I want to get it on my PS4. If crossplay is there, then this is possible. But you know what? My friend's got the Xbox. I want to play with someone. Fallout 76 doesn't look like a good solo experience. I'll just buy an Xbox One copy instead. Screw my PS4 version. And that's exactly what's going to happen and how Sony can lose some sales out on third-party support for Fallout 76. It's just a thought. I know it doesn't sound too plausible, but there are thousands and thousands and thousands of gamers. There are tons of Fallout fans out there, and this can hurt Sony's support for Bethesda Game Studios, which was already in a poor area. So I don't think this is helping patch things together. I'm not saying that they're going to change their whole stance on crossplay just for Bethesda. I think that's pretty unrealistic. But now this is the 4th instance where Sony has halted crossplay, and you got to wonder, when are they going to budge? When are they going to say something? When are they going to make the change? And are they even going to make that change? It's a big question mark for them, and we'll see in due time. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below, so do fire away. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.